And in hindsight, you mentioned Rangers. Is there anything that you may have reflected upon differently? Because obviously, coming to the end of that period, winning results wasn't necessarily at its best at the club. Is there anything that you might have done differently, just on reflection? I'm just interested on that.
Looking back, I think you look back at the players that we brought into the club. I think when you had so many changeovers, I think that the results, the second part of the first half of this, when we went in there the first season, it went flyingly well. It went really, really well. And then with Michael, the club was changing, and we built a lot of players into the club. I think the chairman changed, the CEO changed, and the management, actually his group. So when you get that influx of change within a club, it's very, very seldom does you find that it runs smoothly. I think even Chelsea now, you're looking at Chelsea, they will come good because of the quality they've got inside and the work that the manager's doing with them. And I think the success they're having at the moment is due to the work that was put in place by the staff that were there at the time. And you're always going to have teething problems. I think when you're doing it a long time, you've just got to get, but as long as you know where you're going, you've got your vision of the work you want to do. We always thought that as a group, that this group of players will be successful and narrow the gap to, let's not forget Celtic have won 3 trebles, so they're a good side. And it was always going to take some time to bridge that gap and overtake it and sustain success. And that's I think, getting back to Arsenal, that was where we had at Arsenal, sustained success. It wasn't just a flash in the pan. It just wasn't one title. It wasn't, because before Arsenal went, I think Arsenal won the Cup, the league, and they hadn't had success with getting into Europe every year. And Arsene said that when he was there. I think you're seeing how hard it is to get into the Champions League. And I think I think you've always got to have a vision of where you want to go and what you're working towards. And that's what we were doing at Rangers. And unfortunately for circumstances, it wasn't to be. And you move on and onto your next, hopefully onto your next your role within the club.
Do you think that's the hardest part within whilst working for Rangers, is that demand and the pressure? And obviously the neighbours are Celtic, and either one are either top or second, and second's last in that league, I think, personally. But do you think that's the hardest part because of what the opposition's doing, and obviously being patient, and the demand that a club such as Rangers can challenge that process?
I think as you say, coming second in Rangers to Celtic is last, but I think you've got to see where Rangers have come from, their history over the last 10 years, the last decade, where they went to and where they came back from. And I think they will go over them again, and they will. I think it's great competitive between the two clubs, and it drives one another on. But I think when you've come from Arsenal and you're living every day for 21 years of this, you live in the bubble, but it's a success. You've got to be a top 4 club. And I think wherever you go, Celtic, Rangers, I enjoyed my time at Scotland. It was fantastic. I enjoyed the club. I met some wonderful people, and I really enjoyed the actual football up in Scotland. But I think having the experience of Arsenal for all them years, it held you in good stead for where you were going into the Rangers. But Arsenal was a phenomenal place to be for a period of time, for the length I was there, and what was achieved by everyone at the club was, they'll look back, and it was a fantastic era for the club, I feel.
Did anything surprise you in terms of the league within Scotland, in terms of representing Rangers? Because I get the impression that people from the south kind of snub their nose at the Scottish League, and I'm just interested on, is there anything that...
I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100% what you're saying. We used to go to games, and every team is their cup final. So that it's like the era when you get the fixtures come out here. The first team you look for is your Celtic and Rangers games, and it would be a full house. Everyone would be excited. Players get a lift. All of a sudden they find 10%. It was every game we had was a hard fought game up in Scotland physically, and you had to overcome that test every game. And I felt we did, and we were on our way. And as we said, it just wasn't to be at the time. But the work was definitely put into place there for sustained success, I think.